Are we on? Hey guys, welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the Craft Cafe Live Show with your host of all things craft, Latoya Riggins. Yes, that's me, LC. And I'm so excited to be here, you guys, because we have a special treat for you guys, a special guest. My girl, Hyacinth Tucker, you guys, she is the owner, founder, CEO of The Laundry Basket. And she's going to be coming in to bring her expertise in entrepreneurship and tell you a little bit more about her journey. But before we get in there, I just want to make sure that we're live on Facebook and everything is rolling because you know how technology can do. Hi, Sid, you ready?
Right,
How you doing
exactly.
today?
I am doing well. It is a Friday. It is like almost 80 degrees outside, so I cannot ask for anything better. Well,
I
I probably
know
could $1 million,
it's
but we'll take this for now.
okay. We're live. We're in it. So, and you're in DC like me, so we're both out here. So we're gonna get
Yeah.
started. It looks like we're good. Yep, we're live. All right, let me turn that. Just in case anybody has. Hold on. Wait, why does it look like I'm already on there? Okay. Here we go. I want to make sure that you guys that are watching from home, if you have any input or any questions for Hyacinth today, definitely pop it in the chat. I have it in the chat on Facebook Live, so that way I can see you guys. The links, be mindful. We're going to be putting links in the chat and all of that. So just be ready, and we're going to get into the conversation. For those of you,
Sounds
if this is your first time coming to the Craft Cafe, I'm gonna just give you a little background. This is our show where we elevate the voices of ECE, and that's early childhood education. And we're all about leadership and we're all about business. So we want to make sure that we are bringing you the latest and the greatest people that are coming through, that are making waves in this industry. And I want to make sure that you guys understand what Craft is. Craft is our online business and professional development platform that's specifically designed for leaders just like you. We have all types of topics, webinars on business topics such as leadership, marketing, accounting, retirement, advocacy, you name it. We have all of it. And we also have our Craft Plus app where you can go and stream our past webinars if you are a member. And guys, I'll be dropping links in the chat. We are always looking for new members. We're always looking for new presenters. And our presenters actually are on tour right now. They're on all, it's conference mode right now. So they're all over the place. But because we're virtual, they're still able to tap in and bring you the latest and greatest conference level classes. And all of our presenters, guys, have at least 20 years of experience in their given field. All right. So you already know you're getting with the best. So just to give you that, I want to give a shout out to the founders of Better Futures who created Craft, Jahi B. Davis and Dr. Robert Gunling. So they're the ones who brought me into the fold, and I am so happy to be here. This is our place to let our hair down and really talk about what's going on in the real world. Okay, it's not a class. We want to make sure that you guys can have your say and get up on this panel. All right. So, Hyacinth, how you doing, girl?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
I'm so excited to have you over here on the show because one of the things that, just to tell you guys how I met Hyacinth, I went to the Founder Institute graduation, and not I met her before. Actually, someone told me about her and wanted me to meet her, and we actually gravitated to each other. And she started telling me about her business, and I was so energized. I was like, my wheels just started turning. And this is before I ever heard her pitch. So when I heard her pitch, I was floored because I couldn't believe not only that she was able to take this to the next level, but the way that she was already in it. You know, a lot of times I hear pitches, it's like an idea, but this is beyond an idea, Hyacinth now. So I just want to know more about it. So before we get into the business, tell us about you and who you are, where you from, all of those good things.
Sounds good. All right. So, hello, everyone. So, of course, I'm Hyacinth. I am actually from Jamaica, raised in Brooklyn, and then
Okay.
came out to the lovely state of Maryland to go to school. So, I went to Towson University. It was in Towson University back then, but we won't go into the gear. Went to Towson University and then just kind of settled out here. Army veteran. And so yeah, all the things. Married, wife of two children, and yeah, just living life and the owner of the laundry basket, of course.
I love that. I'm trying to think. Did I know you were from New York? I think we did talk about that.
I think we talked about that. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and
I
I
think
was
so.
like,
I think
I
so.
love that, of course, because y'all know I'm from the Bronx. So you came from Brooklyn and you came to Maryland to go to school.
Yes, that is
That's how
correct.
I got to DC. That's kind of how I think we all kind of did that. Because there's so many
That
people
is
from New
correct.
York that are out here they call it the DMV, you guys, that are not in the area, DC, Maryland, and Virginia, because it's a little tri-state cluster that we
Right.
all kind of share borders. It's very, much like New York, Connecticut, and Jersey, how it's,
That's right.
kind of meshed together. So it's always great to meet somebody from where you're from and kind of have like that similar journey. So
Yes.
when it comes to coming to Maryland, you came here for school. Tell us
Yes.
about how you got started in entrepreneurship.
Yeah, so my first way, so I guess like it's been almost like 20 years ago. I was working, so my degree is in psychology. I wanted to be a social worker. However, I had a part-time job at Towson and it was for an insurance company. And I actually was like, okay, I really like this. So I was kind of going through the ranks of like insurance. So started off, then I started doing like claims, like, special investigation, all the ones where, you say that your car just automatically just went into flames and we gotta go out there and be like, or you'd be like, so I started doing that and I really loved it. And it wasn't until someone there was like, you know what, you're really good with people. You should think about sales. And I was like, sales? I was like, no. But to make a long story short, I did end up going into sales. So I opened up an all-state insurance agency. So insurance was my jam for about years. And I started that from scratch with zero people and then built that up to a couple of million and sold it back to Allstate.
A couple
And then with those,
million.
yes,
Wait, wait,
yes.
wait,
Well,
rewind. You just went over that, Hyacinth. So wait, I didn't even know this part. So y'all getting this fresh just with me. I was, okay, so you opened up your own
hmm
location by
yes.
yourself,
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
own money. How
Yeah.
were you
Yeah.
able to scale it how long did it take you to scale to 2 million?
So I was with Allstate for about 7, 8 years. So 7, 8 years. hmm Yeah.
And then you
Yeah.
sold it back to them.
And sold it back to them. And then with those proceeds, I went into events because I love a good party. I truly believe that you can't celebrate others if you don't know how to celebrate yourself. So I've always been like that birthday girl. So I went
Oh,
into events and then I opened up 4 event venues in Prince George's County. And then, things were going well until they weren't. And then, COVID came. So it's just like a lot of stuff was going on. So I'm building this up as to how I got involved. Because people always like, how did you get into laundry from these things? And
yeah.
so it was during the COVID time when we were slowly getting out of COVID. And so I didn't have the event space. I was going through a divorce at the time. So I had lost two major sources of income. So I was just doing whatever to just kind of make ends meet and make money. So I was Ubering, doing, Instacart, like all the things. And I
Mm-hmm.
went to go visit a girlfriend and I walked into her living room and there were piles and piles of clothes everywhere. And we started laughing because, of course, who loves to do laundry? But then I realized that she was buying new clothes instead of washing the clothes that she had. And looking back, I probably would say that she was a shopaholic. But at that time, I was just like, girl, I was like, that's not sustainable because at some point you're going to have to wash all these clothes. And then, now you just made all this laundry for yourself. But she started talking to me about how tired and overwhelmed and stressed she was, regular professional woman, just trying to do all the things. And so she looked at me and she said, I wish there was someone that can come and take all this laundry and do it for me and I would pay for it. Now I'm leading up to say that if I wasn't in that space where I was in, I would have said yes. And when you find someone, you let me know so that I can use them too. But because I was already, in my hustle mode at that time, I said, okay, I'll help out. And then that's how we turned like that $20 into like where we are now 3 years later. So it has been a ride. It has definitely been a ride. But that's how I got started.
I I love that story. And I told you that my dream is to open a laundromat.
Yes.
And it stemmed from when I was a kid. My sister was a teen mom and she had all these kids and she was like that. She would have piles of laundry. And I would just be
hmm
like, listen, I'll put the kids and the laundry in a stroller and walk it. This is back in Harlem. Take it to the laundromat. And I had my little system. I would get me a sandwich and a good book. And I'm a folder. Like I'm one of those people like that like folding fitted sheets. So it would like be soothing for me to
Mm,
fold and like, you like that? I'm like, yeah, it's soothing for me. Ironing and all
mm.
of that. So everybody's like, you need to open up a laundromat or something. You need to. So when I met you, I was like, girl, I love this. So this is different from an actual laundry mat. So tell me about
Right.
how we got the idea from, like you said, just being an
Mhm.
actual solution for someone. But how
Yeah.
did you turn that into a system? Like, because doing it a one off or a two off or here and there, that's different
Yeah.
than how where you are now. So tell me, how were you able to create like that system?
Yeah. So, the first thing they always talk about, when it comes to like opening a business is like making sure there's a need, right? And so when I saw that there was a need, like it was one of those things like I always say, like, when you buy a blue car and everywhere you go, you see blue cars.
Right.
Because so now everywhere I was going, so starting with that, I would see people talking about laundry. Like it would be online, I'd be like, oh my gosh, I gotta do laundry. I would go to the store, somebody had a laundry t-shirt on. I'm in conversation, like, oh gosh, I do, just it would just be in conversation. So I was like, okay, it's not just her, it's not just me. This is like a thing that really a lot of people want to get rid of, right? And live a life of
Mhm.
ease and all the types of things. And so when I saw that, I was like, okay, but how do I scale this? Because I'm just one person. And
Right.
truthfully kept, I don't really like it like that. I don't have a passion. Like I don't wake up like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to do laundry. I don't have that, right? So I was like, I knew that we couldn't do it. I couldn't do it by myself. And so even with bringing people on to help, I was just like, that's still not scalable. So I was like, okay, we have these laundromats that are sitting pretty much empty during the week.
Mhm.
They're not, they have like the high seasons, like the weekends and maybe even evenings, those type of things. During the day, they're just sitting there. And so I was like, how do we form some type of partnership? Right? Because it's all about collaboration. How do we part some type of partnership where you have all these machines, I have people that need the work done, and then we do that. So we created more of a platform where it's like we connect. So we connect busy individuals and families and institutions to local vetted, trusted laundromats do the fulfillment. So we handle the logistics, we handle the customer experience, the payments, all those types of things, and it works really well because now it doesn't. We have no limit on our capacity because we just partner with different entities.
I love that. And this is the thing I think people miss with the collaboration because, as entrepreneur, I always joke to say this. Everybody's like, I'm self-made. I did it by myself. And shout out to Issa Rae because she
Mm.
has a sound bite that's going around that. And one thing I believe in, like, you can't do anything by yourself completely.
Exactly.
You need people.
Exactly.
You have to collaborate, especially if you want to be successful. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
that's why I'm like finding not just the laundromats to actually partner with. You created a whole network, you know?
Yeah.
So how
Yeah.
how long did it take you to get started? Like to get started and started to see like revenue and things like that?
Yeah, so the thing about it is that it wasn't hard to get started because once again it was a need. I actually went to a mom's group and I just kind of, like you're just talking and I was telling someone about like the laundry and like she was like, "Oh my gosh, like I have clothes in my trunk, like you want to take it?" And so when we were like, just going around and that type of thing, I was like, "Well, I'm starting this thing." I was like, "No pressure, but if you're interested in wanting to get some services, I'm just going to pass around a piece of paper." I'm telling you, when I got that piece of paper back, it was like double-sided, 12-inch font, single space. I mean, it was crazy. It was like filled like both sides. And I was like, oh. So once again, the need was never, or getting clients was never a thing. It was really just how to service them in a way, like getting them quality service. But it didn't take me long to move to that system because once again, I didn't like to do it. And then, you're hiring someone. So for me, it was the pricing because it was like, how do you price it at a point where you can afford to bring on people or to have like the type of system that I have, but you still make a profit enough that you can live, right? And so we're in the volumes game. So for us, it works because we have a large volume of people and a large volume of loads of clothes. So that's what works for us.
Wow. So it's the volume and the actual demand kind of
Yeah.
meeting in the middle. So
Yes.
let me ask you this. So when it comes to marketing,
Mhm.
how do you market this? Because this is so, like you said, it's such a common pain in people's tail. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It
It is.
is. But how the whole thing with me, I do marketing, so I'm always thinking like, how do we get to the people that really need it? Because I know hotels, they do laundry service, and that's like a luxury item. So
Yes.
I feel like you've created so much access to such a luxury service, you know what I mean,
Hmm. Hmm.
for an everyday person. So do
That
you
is.
focus on families? Because it sounds like you started out with the families.
Mhm.
Did you expand into businesses and things like that, or is this more geared toward individual families and people?
Right. Yep. So we started off with a focus on like that busy professional, like that was like our target market. And then we expanded into families. Then we expanded to caregivers, seniors, and then we expanded to like
Because it's
nonprofits.
like, how do you price it at a point where you
Okay, you good?
Yeah.
Okay. And then we expanded to like nonprofits. So as they get clothes donated, we would launder them and then deliver them to our house population. Then we went on to businesses like gyms, spas, hotels, universities, that type of thing. And then we went to government contracting on the local, state, and federal side. So we've definitely expanded throughout that time.
Wow. I'm just so impressed with that because
Oh, but you asked about marketing. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
And let
How
me
did you market this? Like,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so this is it's funny. So I'm naturally a salesperson, right? So if nothing else, Allstate will teach you how to sell. And so so that is how I built that business as being, but they taught us the premise of you can either hunter or a gatherer, right? So the hunter is the one who's, going out there and doing all the things and, blah, 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 blah. The gatherer, they taught us, is like that person that like you just have value. So people naturally come to you, right? So it's kind of like that difference between like, Rolex. They may not do all these commercials because they don't have to, right? People already know about them. They know if you want to do this and be at this status, then that's what you get. So they don't have any problem with people buying their stuff, right? And so I always said I always wanted to be a gatherer. So what I did was that I created a space around myself, right? So kind of like a thought leader, industry expert, and we went the way of our strategy was to get into like magazines, publications, TV, and to be that person. So when you think about laundry, whatever, it's that person that keeps on popping up. Like I keep on seeing her everywhere or whatever. And so that's what we've done. And so I've realized that value can even be perceived. Like so people look at me and they have this perception, whether it's true or not, but it's like it makes them want to like, work with us. And of course, the no like and what is it, no like and trust thing works well as well. So I think we have some advantages, but we definitely make sure that our website is like SEO, heavy on the SEO. So if you even go and be like, okay, laundry services near me or blah, 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 that, laundry basket is going to be on that first page. And so we've tried different things. We've tried digital marketing. We've done a lot of different things, but what really works for us the most is the organic. It is the me being out there, people seeing me, people, wanting to try the service. We make it really easy for you to sign up. You know, it's a low lift. It's a low lift, no pun intended. So,
I love that because you're just validating everything I teach when it comes to marketing because you're right. Like it is a perceived value and how you think of yourself and your business is reflected upon how you market also. And people are only
yeah.
gonna know what you tell them, So
Hmm.
tell them everything, tell them the good stuff and tell them all the time. I tell people, you have like you said, with the sales piece, I can definitely tell, and you don't feel salesy, like you don't feel like you're trying to, because people have this bad uh sales get a bad rep. I remember, because I come from a sales background and I'm very festive. I have what I like to call an event spirit. So when you said you were on events, I was like, this is why Chris said, and it's so funny. Shout out to Chris Bennett that he did the craft cafe last
Hey, Chris.
month. Yeah, and he's the guy who actually technically introduced me to Hyacinth. He told me about her, and I wound up meeting her before he got a chance to introduce us. So now, like the more I talk to her, the more I see why he brought you up to me. Because he was like, yeah, you need to meet this sister. She reminds me of you. I was like, for real? Oh, I'm gonna meet her. And we gravitated to each other already. So when you say
Yeah.
sales, I remember I would do all of these events. I come from a workforce development background. So I would have
Mhm.
balloons. I got balloons. And it was like, here come the car salesman. And car salesmen get a sleazy rep. Like, you so sleazy, you trying to pull one over on somebody. And I'm like, don't do me like that. I like people to know where you at. Of course, the balloons are more like, the festivities, and it worked every
Right.
time. And it was a organic thing, people building relationships. And
Right.
and I would say that's why I love sales, because I love to talk, I love to meet people, and I love to hear the
Yeah.
stories. That's why I do this show, because I love to hear your story. So I know if I love it, someone else is gonna love it. And not only
Yeah.
are they gonna love it, Hyson, they're going to learn from it, because a lot of my
Yeah.
viewers are already entrepreneurs. And entrepreneurs, most of us, we're always looking for, we always got some other ideas too. We're
Right.
always looking for ways to improve. So that's why I
Mhm.
want to have this space where people can not only improve, but they can actually add on. So
Yeah.
when I heard of what your business does, I just felt so connected to it, not just because of the laundry piece, but for what we do in early childhood education. Now,
Yeah.
you guys know I grew up in family childcare, with my sister having her family childcare home back in Brooklyn. Shout out to Flatbush. And
Hey.
yeah, you know what I mean? And people, not believing that she could do it. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I'm thinking about, I worked there. So I would see how the parents would come and how relieved they were when they dropped their kids off to my sister, and knowing that she's like, don't worry about it. And they would go to her for advice. Like, I remember one time she had an infant. The infant was probably like 5, 6 months old. And the mom
Yeah.
was a first time mom. And my sister already had 3 kids by then. She like 22, 3 kids. So she done been through it. You know what I mean? So she was like really like crying about the baby had this white stuff on the mouth. They call it thrush or whatever. And my sister's
Mhm.
like, oh, don't worry about that. I got it. All you got to do is get the yogurt and all that. And so, because she
Mhm.
had been through it, cradle cap, all of these different things. And
Wow.
I would see my sister give that wisdom and that comfort to the moms and
Yeah.
be like, give me the baby. I got it. Give me the baby. Give me the stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I was thinking, what would it look like if families, especially I say family childcare, because center based, they got so much going on. When it comes to family childcare, it's a lot more intimate, it's a lot more family oriented, where you do have that space to love on your parents. And I was like, what would that look like when you're saying, give me that baby and give me that
Yeah.
laundry? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So that's why I was like, how does it work with your affiliates, with your hubs, like where you can pick up and drop off? How does that piece work?
Right. So we're always looking for like, so first of all, like, the alignment, right? Because we're all about making life easier for people. And so childcare centers are like, that is like the ultimate, right? Because
Right.
sometimes you bring your child there, you still at home, and even because you got to go to work, but you just need some time to yourself, right? And so we're just continuing that whole thing of just like, let some time be you time, right? Let it be
Yeah.
me time. Where it's like, I don't have to worry about kids. I don't have to worry about chores. I don't have to worry about a thing. I can just really sit in my thoughts because we truly believe that we just don't never really have enough time to just sit and think, right? It's always so many things going on. And then you add children, spouse, the life, just everything to it. And it could just get really overwhelming. And we know in our community, heart disease is a thing. And heart disease really is coming from stress. And so we're just a stressed out community. We're caring for so many different people. We're just doing all the things. And so in my mind, we're just doing a small piece to help alleviate that. And so we're always looking for places that it just makes sense, right? It goes back to the alignment. And so places where people can just be like, okay, hey, I'm already going here. How can I make it easier? And I can just drop off my laundry. So yes, it would be a child care center. It would be like a coffee house. It would be those places that people are already traveling to on their day-to-day job, well, day-to-day life. And it's just like, it just make it easier to do that. Now we do pick up and delivery now. So, but with our affiliates, we want it to be like something that they can offer as well. And, kind of as we grow, they grow as well, right? Because it definitely is a revenue
Yeah.
share situation. So we like doing partnerships that are win-win, right? And we want to make sure that everyone involved is winning. The parent is winning, the childcare provider is winning, and we're winning as well. So that's always like our thing is like the alignment of it. So it's a great thing.
I love that. That was the first thing that popped in my head when you told me about, because I was like, when we first met, I was like, so like your bit asking about your business model, and you was like, we're B2B, B2C, and C2C. It was all these different, I was like, wait, whoa, 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 slow down. What is that? Like, I know what B2B is and B2C, but you was like, you had other
B to
ones
B.
going on.
Yeah,
Yeah, I said,
yeah.
so break that down, what you told me. Because I don't know all the B's and C's. I just know it was a lot of stuff. So I was like,
It was a lot of stuff. It was a lot of stuff.
let's
Okay,
unpack
so
that.
yes. So for those who don't know, B2C, of course, is like your customer. So it's straight to your customer, right? And so that would be like our residential clients. And then B2B is business. So any business, institution, organization. Then you have B2G, which is government. So anything that you do in the government space on the local, state, or federal side, that's going to be your B2G client. Then we have B2B2C. So B2B2C is a great space to be in because what it basically is saying is that I'm going to offer and create relationships with an entity, but it's not the entity that gets the benefit. It's their people. So it comes into like, so when we now not want to do one to one and we want to do one to many. So an example of a B2B2C would be an apartment building, right? And so if
Okay.
we get in touch with that property manager and they actually put our stuff in the elevator or when they're having something or at the front desk or whatever it may be, we're now getting people from apartments coming in, but we didn't go after them directly. We didn't say, hey, can we knock on everybody's door and then slide this under? We're like,
Yeah.
no, we have a relationship with you. And so the benefit to them is that it's an amenity, right? Because what they're looking at is that how do we make a space that people want to come here and live, right? And so when you see those things, it's like, oh, we got a gym, we got a spa, we got a this, we got laundry service, we got this, we got that. That does something for them. So that is when we say that it has to be like a win-win for everyone involved. So that is B2B2C. So that would be like our luxury apartments, that would be like our college campuses, those types of things. So your relationship is with the entity. They're the ones that are helping to promote you and whatever for whatever their intrinsic thing is, but you're getting the people that they serve.
I love it. I love it so much. And that's why I was so excited to have you come on the show because I feel like when it comes to marketing, my job is to help people tell their story, right?
Yeah.
And it's
Hmm.
also them to help see the actual big picture. Because when I do
Yeah.
marketing plans, that is a whole portion of it is the business to business. My advice to my clients is always you have to know your community and you have to know what your customers need. You know what I mean? And I when I worked in corporate, this was a poster that was on the wall. I always recite this because it really changed my mindset on how I served my clients. And it said, don't just anticipate your clients' needs, create them. And what
That's
that meant to me, I thought of let's just say when you go to a fast food restaurant or a fast casual, anything that you're going to take to go, they're going to give you a cup and they're going to give you a top and they're going to give you a straw to put in it. Nobody
that's right.
really needs a damn straw. But now
Hmm.
you think you need it because I didn't even ask you. I provided something that can make your life easy. You ain't got to take the top off. You ain't got to have nothing coming in your drink. You can just
Yeah.
sip it and be on your way. So I'm always thinking, how can we think ahead and create what that is? And you've already done that. So that's why I want to put the word out to the business community, and especially in my field in early childhood education, to help you to expand what your services are. And one of the things I talk about, when it comes to parents, having a marketplace inside even if it's inside your family childcare home, that's going to help parents. I told a story. I think I might have told you my cousin when we were young. She had a baby and she was a young girl, so she was always on the move, and she didn't like doing
Hmm.
laundry either. And the school, her kid went to a private preschool, so it was pretty expensive. But what they had a store where you can buy
Mm.
diapers, you could buy they had a school uniform.
Love that.
So instead, she didn't feel like doing laundry. So you know what she would do? I'd be like, hey, we gotta wash these clothes. She'd be like, I'm gonna just buy her a new one. I don't got time for that. And just, so like your friend,
Sound like
she
my
would
friend.
literally, yeah. So we would have all these little baby shirts all around the house because she was buying them every day. And these shirts were like 16 bucks a piece. You know what I mean? So
Mm.
I always tell my clients, like, parents pay for convenience. They will pay for
Right.
a time saver because the time is more valuable than the money is. They could get
That
the
is
money,
right.
but that
That's right.
time, you know what I mean?
Right.
So
That's right.
I have I used to teach entrepreneurship for the youth and adults over at BAU, and one of my students, she's a meal prepper, and she was telling me about how but her meal prep is for fitness. I was like, what about meal prep for families? Because I remember
That's
when
right.
my kids were little and I'm getting off of work 5:30, running through the city in traffic. My twins in daycare and my big girl, she's in elementary. I'm going all these separate places. And there were times where
Yeah.
I didn't have time to be cooking. So we going Chick-fil-A, we going through the drive-through, pop y'all something in there, and you gonna eat it in the car. So by the time we get home, it's bedtime. You know what I mean?
That's right.
So I'm
That's
like,
right.
not every I felt guilty though, giving my kids,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, Chick-fil-A,
Yeah.
and I because I'm it's too much time, time. So I was like, oh, what if they had meal prep at the daycare? You can send them home with you and the meal, so you get to eat
Right.
the person and a lot of, especially, and I say family childcare because that's my baby. Matter of fact, it's my
Mhm.
sister. So my sister was watching. She was on there. Shout out to my sister. She's on Facebook watching live, and she like I said, she didn't do the meal prep, but she would feed the kids before they left, so the parents didn't have to do anything. But what I was saying is when it comes to providing what your clients need, because a lot of times they don't even realize that that's something that they could actually get. So I'm like,
That's right.
hey, and like I said, family child care, these women and men, they're cooking food, home cooked meals. And sometimes you can look at a person and be like, you look like you throw down in the kitchen. You
You can
know?
throw down.
Like I want to
Mhm.
try, I just want to try your food. You know what I mean? One of my clients, she has a garden out back. I
Yeah.
couldn't believe it because I was helping her market her business. And so I'm poking all these questions like, so what do you do with this? And then I'm from Africa. I don't pop no cans open. You will not see a can in. All my food is fresh. If I don't grow it in my yard, I get it from the farmer's market. I said, what do you mean grow it in your yard? She takes the Zoom out to her yard. This woman is growing all figs. She's growing everything in her
Wow.
yard. Figs. She got the kids eating
Wow.
fresh figs. I said, why are we not seeing this on social media? You
That's
take the
right.
pictures
Mhm.
of the crayons and stuff, and you got
Mhm.
figs. You got the kids eating fresh figs off the tree. So
Wow. Oh
imagine
my, I
having
love it.
that as a service where you're offering fresh foods, farm to table. She's showing and
Mhm.
then she's bringing in all of these recipes from her culture. She's from, I think, is she from Ghana or so? She's somewhere in Africa. So she's bringing in
Yeah.
infused recipes and spices, and she's
Love
showing
that.
me pictures of the kids. I mean, tearing up fruits and
I
vegetables,
love that.
going out to the yard picking this. So I'm like, She's like, you know what? I never thought about that. But this is why I'm here. That's why I'm like, let's think about those things. So when you talk about something like laundry that people literally sweep under the rug, like you said, they piling up in the back of the closet, going shopping, and they could be getting this service right here from you.
That's,
Not
that's
only
right.
are you a black woman, but you're also a black businesswoman. So
That's right.
I didn't even know about your past with Allstate and everything. So you also understand the liabilities of things. So you can be super careful. So that's what I want to talk about now. Because one of the things you talked about is the materials that you guys use. And
Yeah.
you said it's not what else, not military grade. It's what is the grade? You said it's something. The
Oh,
version.
healthcare grade. It's healthcare
Healthcare
grade. Yeah.
grade,
So it's
that's what it was. Talk about that a little
yeah.
bit, like how you guys
Yeah.
protect with that.
Yeah, because healthcare grade is like a totally different level, right? Because that is, you're looking at infection control, bloodborne pathogens, and that's one of the things that we kind of explain to people, the difference, right? Because when you go outside in your clothes, you're bringing in all the elements. As you already know,
Oh, the street
the earth is
clothes.
dirty. So all that stuff is coming on you every time somebody sneeze, hit you, and whatever, all the particles and whatever, and you're bringing that in your home, right? And you're putting it in the pile and you're breathing that in. So when people pile up laundry for like days and days and days, it becomes like a health issue, right? And especially as we just experienced COVID, so we know how we can take you out just like that, right?
Yeah,
And how these airborne types of things. So you want to make sure that your clothes are not just being washed, but they're being washed in certain chemicals and also like certain temperatures. Like certain temperatures are going to like so a lot of like our home laundry, what is it? I'm like, I don't even know what it's called, washing dryers at home. We call them my cousins. They don't get hot enough to really take off like certain things and to do certain things when it
wow.
comes to that.
No.
Um, And we have blood because we're going through periods, any type of fecal matter, any type of, anything, is all in our clothes. And we want to make sure that it is being done, that the chemicals are being used and that type of thing. So that kind of makes us different, but it also allows us to go into a space that is like a really niche space of healthcare, right? So you're talking about like small community clinics, dental practices, pharmacies, those types of things, because we are able to specialize and deal directly with what their pain is. So these places, they're not big enough for like the bigger type of companies, but they have a decent thing. So yeah, so it opens up the door for us.
I love that. Because when it comes to, like you said, I was raised by my grandmother. She do not play street clothes in the house, or definitely not on no bed. You know how people, I will watch TV, girl, and I will cringe when I see people sit on someone's bed with their street clothes and their shoes on, shoes in the house. My kids think I'm a crazy person. I know you, because their friends will come over and be sitting on their bed, and I will tell them, I say, I know damn well you ain't sitting on her bed in them street clothes. Get up. And then I have to turn it to my grandmother, because my grandmother would give you the visual. Because in New York City, come on, she'd be like, you out there riding them old dirty trains and buses of people homeless and pissing on themselves, and you
Right.
sitting on my couch with change. You got to put them in the dirty clothes. So
Yeah.
I think that that's a lost thing, because people acting like it's okay. I'm like, wait, no, you like what? Like I'll be going crazy over that. So to realize that even us washing our clothes, and our, like, I know that about the home washer and dryers, that they don't get hot enough. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like to really get to the nitty gritty. Because I know, like, when they say, because I remember, like, you get like bed bugs, they say you have to throw everything out or hot wash it or something. And it's like,
It's a real
so
hot
is it
wash.
hot? Have you dealt with, speaking of that, have you dealt with anything like that when it comes
Oh
to
yeah, definitely.
laundry?
Yeah, yeah,
Really?
definitely, definitely. So we actually worked with a shelter that had that issue, and so we were able to do that. Because you're right, it's certain chemicals, like the washing process is different, and it has to be like that high heat to get them. And
Yeah.
so I want to make sure I'm clear though. So I'm not saying, because I want people to take like, what? So I'm not getting my clothes cleaned at home. You are, but we're just saying that there's levels to it,
Levels
right?
to it, right?
So the ultimate level is like this really high heat type of situation. But I will say, it comes with some, some cost, because high heat does also damage like fibers and that type of thing. So I won't get into a whole laundry lesson here, but
Right.
just know that these are more like linen and stuff like that, like sheets
Yeah.
and pillows and stuff like that. So not like your regular stuff. You need to have it at like 500 degrees and anything. So you're fine, everyone at home. You're fine.
Y'all
But
fine,
yes,
y'all fine.
but in situations where there's just a lot of blood stuff going around, you just want to make sure that there's precautions.
I love that, because people don't think about that, like the body fluid, especially when you got kids. Because kids, they always
Right.
they have them blowouts and everything. They be tearing a onesie
Hmm.
up.
Yeah. Exactly, exactly. And so you want to make sure. So places like, hotels, they have like those systems, hospitals, those types of things, because, you're interacting after other people. So it's different when it's like your family, but you want to make sure that, things are sanitized and, they're at a certain level before you use them.
I know that's right. I always got more questions. So I'm curious about, do you guys have like a gift card program, like I can gift services to someone?
Yes, we definitely do. And we definitely encourage it, because who would not love a gift of laundry, right? So we definitely do. We have gift cards on our website in different denominations, and they're great as like a baby shower gift. They're great if someone's going through bereavement, because of course you lose something, someone special to you. The last thing that you really want to do is chores, right? So people think
Yeah.
about like, oh, I can bring you over some food, but that person still has other things around the house that need to be done. Of course, laundry as well. So they make great gifts for that, or just someone that is going through a difficult time, and it's just like, you know what, I'm going, bless you with this. So yes, we do.
Baby showers. I could see that being a nice little
Yeah.
basket. Put it in a laundry basket, pun intended.
Right,
So get your,
exactly.
but let me put your website in the Facebook chat. What's your website?
It is laundrybasketdelivery.com.
All right, I'm popping it in there. Laundry basket
Basket delivery.com.
I gotta go slow because I got big hands and these little keys are so
Oh,
small.
trust me, I'm like that too. I'm like these kids be like boom, 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 boom. I was like, give me a second.
I
Give me a
gotta
second.
sound it out. Okay, laundrybasketdelivery.com, you guys. I love this because I'm thinking like when I worked in the social services sector, one of the challenges for my clients was laundry. And I remember having to have conversations because I was helping people to get prepared for jobs. And they would have body odors and things like that. And I would be the one responsible for having the conversation with them. And but when I care about, well, I care about everybody, but if I have a relationship with you and I care about you, the last thing I want is for somebody to be talking smack about you. So I bite the bullet and had a conversation. I remember having a conversation with a mom and about an odor. And what I suspected was just that she didn't have access to laundry. So I asked her that because when I approached her, she was like, what? I don't smell nothing. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, this is awkward. So I said, before I sit there and try to convince her that there's a stench, I asked her, I said, do you have access to laundry services? And then she broke down and she was like, no, I can't really afford it. So you put my kids first and I just washed their uniforms and put myself on the back burner. So
Yeah.
I was out everywhere looking for resources to help her get money to go to the laundromat and wash her clothes. So when you said that, it brought me back to that. I'm like, wow, there's so many families that
Yeah.
struggle with keeping their clothes clean,
Yeah.
whether it be access to an actual laundromat or the funding to actually get it done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, this is really a thing and nobody's talking about it. No one's talking about it. So
You're
that's why
right.
I asked if that could be something that, we can actually partner with people who want to fund this and create a
Oh,
pipeline, for,
definitely.
to give this to people who
Love.
can't afford it. Because the people that can afford it, they gonna get it. Because
Right. Right.
they're gonna get it. But I'm like, this is so detrimental. Like you said, to our community, when you start thinking about the hygiene piece and the disease piece and how it's going around because we can't even wash our clothes. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
this is such a bigger issue, you
It's
know?
such a big issue, right? It's dignity, right? Because we believe that everyone deserves a right to look and feel clean, right? And so we know that if it's not, like you said, access to it, it may be transportation. Some people don't have, transportation to get to a laundromat. Like, you lug in like
Yeah.
New York, we're a different breed, right? Because we'll find a way. Like,
Yeah.
we'll put our little stuff in our little,
Little shopping
shopping
cart.
cart, and we
Yeah.
be down the street, whatever. But it ain't like that in a lot in every ways, right? And so we're used to walking places. We're used to like, it's a little bit different because we're used to like tall buildings that don't really have amenities like, laundry facilities, and we just make it do, right?
Yeah.
Um, but we do have a program called Loads of Love. And that is where we actually do provide free or low cost laundry services. So we do try to get sponsors to help us with that. And so we would love to work together to help find some sponsors and then, kind of continue that program because it's a thing, right? And we know when it comes to employment, it's like, and we also know when you feel clean and you look clean, you act different, right? It's like a different
Hmm.
swag that you have. So imagine someone transitioning or going through homeless and they have like an interview and they already coming in, it's already going to be like first impressions, right? And then it's like that goes on top of it. But imagine they come in like the suit all pressed, smelling good, everything good, and now they're just like, I got these skills, I can help you grow your business or whatever like this. It's like it does something for someone. So we understand that. And we also work with school systems because we know that bullying, tardiness, sometimes, absenteeism. It can also be, sometimes a situation if you're dealing with a transition or homelessness is because of that. Kids,
Yeah.
are relentless.
They cruel.
So you smell one
Yeah.
time they gonna have the whole class calling you pee pee boy and whatever, that type of thing.
Yeah,
So
they ain't got no chill.
they don't. So I don't know how we survived.
I
But
know.
anyway, so we want to make sure that we're a resource for them as well, for children as well.
I love that. I'm glad I touched on that because I didn't know about the loaves of love. Did I? I think I knew about that. So can
No.
people get to that and give to that on your website?
We have to get some type of platform that we can do that. We've thought of so many different things, like, like how like the meal train situation is or GoFundMe or whatever, but we want to make sure that yes, we do have it, but people can kind of that as you're donating, like, not the person, but, seeing, how the money is being used and those types
Yeah.
of things. So we're working on a platform to do that because, people do want to help out and, people think of laundry as like this expense, like this luxury. I mean, it's like $30. It's not something where it's like it's gonna break the bank, right? So it's kind of like $30 can do a lot for someone. I feel like those commercials like for just a cup of coffee, but all jokes aside, but for thirty
I
dollars,
be
you
saying
can
that.
donate $30 and help someone, lift a load off. Yeah,
Wow.
literally.
So you can get a load done for $30?
Of course, yeah.
Wow, so
Mhm.
this is actually feasible for people. Like I love it,
Mhm.
and you said people think it's luxury, and I'm one of them because that's what the first thing I said. When I think of when I go to the nice hotels, they say they have laundry service, and I feel like I'm real fancy when they be talking about, oh, do you have any laundry to submit? I'm like, damn, I wish I had something to put in there, but nah. But I do feel luxury with somebody doing my laundry because, like you said, we're both from New York
Right.
growing up, most people didn't have wash and dry in the house. Like a lot of times we live in apartments, we live in projects. They don't allow
Yeah.
that. Like you had to sneak. I know we had to sneak and have a washer. We couldn't have a dryer too. So
Oh,
we got to
yeah.
hang up clothes everywhere, all over the house to dry it.
Exactly.
So more than
Exactly.
likely you went to the laundromat. I remember being at the laundromat from like the age of 8 or 9 years old,
Oh,
washing
definitely. That was your
clothes.
thing on the weekend. That was your thing on weekend. You knew it was either
Yeah.
going to supermarket. We had key food. It was like either going to key
Yep.
food or the laundromat. That was like our thing.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you know. So
And I
that's
think also, well, I'm sorry, when it comes to like business, I always tell people to you have to keep your ear to the ground of what's going on, right?
Mhm.
And so right now we're in an economic crisis, and what that means is that people are working longer hours or they're working more than one job, right? So before when we used to be like, I just don't have the time, like literally people don't have the time. Like so it is like definitely like this is like now the time for those businesses that offer convenience and offer any type of ease or like, a different lifestyle because people really just don't have the time. Like these times out here, it's like it's crazy and people are just trying to do everything they can just to make ends meet. But once again, it's an affordable service and we understand that, time is very precious to a lot of our clients.
I love this. So let's talk about where. Where are you in the country? Where can I know you're outside of the DMV as well. So tell us like what states you cover, how, who can get with you, like, what I mean, like geographically, where they
Mhm.
can get with you guys.
So you can access our services, RC, Maryland, DC, Northern Virginia. So we got that covered. Also Cleveland, Atlanta, and Houston as well.
Wow. So what are your connections to those places?
So Cleveland was more of the same situation how I started here. I had a friend in Cleveland. Well, I have current a friend in Cleveland, and she was doing the same thing. And I was like, if you find nine other people that are they're going through the same thing, then we'll open something there. So that's how we opened in Cleveland because Cleveland's like kind of offshoot. Like they're like, we get Atlanta, we get Houston, but Cleveland. So
Yeah,
that's how
that's
we
kind of out the box. But I mean,
right,
I hear more and more
exactly.
about Cleveland. That's why I was like,
Yeah, it's rising. It's rising. It's rising. And so then Atlanta and Houston is because it's the same thing. Urban metropolitan cities, that's our jam, right? That's where your busy professionals are going to live and operate. So, that just makes sense. So our goal is to continue to expand, whether it be franchising, licensing, partnerships, whatever it may be. But that is like, yeah, that is where we are.
oh, so okay, this is gonna close it out. So how long you've been operating now?
So it kind of stalled. How long?
Oh, how long have you been operating up until this
Oh,
point?
3 years.
Wait,
3 years.
how many
3 years.
years?
Three.
3 years. That's so impressive, girl. In 3 years, not only are you dominating here in the DMV, you've already expanded to three other cities and in
Yeah.
all different states. That's
Yes.
amazing. And I
Yes.
mean, you have the experience behind you. So before we, sign on out of here, what advice would you have to new leaders or new entrepreneurs coming in to, just kind of inspire them to keep going? Like what advice would you give them?
Yeah. So I would first, so the big picture is like to always dream big. Like if you would have asked me 3 years ago. Like, do you see this? I'm like, no, it's just like a little side hustle. It's just a thing. I'm just doing laundry, right? But realizing that even a small job or a small business that in your eye or small thing that you do, if it is improving the quality of life for someone, you can make that into something amazing and big and exciting. So laundry is one of those boring things, but boring things still make extraordinary money, right? And
Right.
have such impact. So definitely it would go back to dreaming big, but always surround yourself with people. It's about community. So it's about because you're going to go through those times of entrepreneurship. And we would love that it's like this, but it's not. It's more like this, right? And so during those times, you need people to celebrate, right? You need people, you got to strap up, ride. It's a ride. And so it's
Mhm.
kind of like you need those people that are going to celebrate you, but also be there for you during those times when you feeling like, am I really doing the right thing? The anxiety comes in, the loneliness, like the stress, the all those thoughts in the middle of the night. You need to have someone that you can call and reach out to, right? So I would say definitely those two things, and just make sure that you're hitting on a need. Know exactly who your client is. Be very clear about what you do, because I feel like sometimes when I meet people, I still am like, now what she do? I mean, I heard what she said, but I still don't know what she do. Make sure that your pitch, your whatever it is very clear on what it is that you do, how you help people, and the value you bring to other people. So those would be my advice.
I love that. Okay, look, I said that was the last one, but this is about marketing. How important is social media to your marketing? Is
It's
it
very
helpful?
important.
Is it okay?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
well, let's
it is.
get
Because
you.
it's not for us about the likes. It's not even, honestly, it's not even about the engagement. For us, we're building something big and we need to have a place that people can come. And so when we start talking about that no like and trust factor, people have to be able to see you, right? It's about visibility. If they can't find you or it's like, I'm trying to do something with you, but I don't know, like that at least gives us like a presence, right? And
Mhm.
so, first of all, LinkedIn honestly is my jam. So, that is where I'm like doing it, right? Facebook and Instagram is more like it's a totally different, client, it's a totally different feel, and that's okay. It is more of just like that's more like we give like our tips, those types of things that people can come to for that. The journey and all the business related stuff is more on LinkedIn, but it's very important for us. So, but we do have to up with like because everybody has like that thing, what if this platform goes away, what will you do? So we still make sure that we still capture people's information that we have that for newsletter purposes, for SMS texting, those types of things. But yeah, social media is our thing.
All right, good. I just wanted to know because I like how you felt as a business owner, especially somebody that's great with sales, that has had the experience with multiple industries, scaling businesses to 2 million, all of that good stuff. It just makes me so inspired, Hyacinth, because I get to finagle with people like you and learn from you because I do marketing. I've been doing it for a while, but I'm one of those people like I love to learn. I want to know what's working for you, what's not working, what are some things, and I also want to make sure that I have other people confirming what I'm saying. I'm not just talking off the side of my neck, y'all. Okay. This is real. Okay. She's in
Yeah.
it right now, 3 years in already in 3 states. Come on, I mean, three extra states, excuse me, 6 states
Yeah.
total.
Yeah.
Okay. In 3 years. And I'm so proud of you. I really am. And I'm excited to work with you. So, and I'm glad that you were able to come on the show. You know what I mean? Because,
So
like
glad to
I
be
said,
invited.
yeah, I mean, because my thing is I want people to know more about what are the things that I talk about with people and be a part of those conversations because it's so good. I'm like, everybody gotta know about this, you know? So guys, now how can people contact you? I put in the website. Is there so tell them their social media handles so that
Yep.
they can make sure they're following.
Yep, yep. So our handle on Instagram and Facebook is Laundry Basket Delivery. Like I said, the website is there. You can always call us, text us, and then of course hang out with me on LinkedIn. So Hyacinth Tucker. There shouldn't be too many Hyacinth Tuckers.
Right.
But come hang out with me on LinkedIn. Send me a DM. Let's talk.
All right, y'all heard that. And Hyacinth, that's the first thing when she said her name. I was like, I love your name. I've never met anybody with that name, and I never forgot as soon as she said it, and I could spell it and everything. So,
Love it.
so guys, thank you so much for attending today and watching. Definitely check us out on YouTube. Go to our YouTube channel at Craft Cafe Live Show. That's where all of our interviews, our past episodes, and articles are housed in our shorts. And if you want to be on the Craft Cafe, definitely DM me and let me know. And I'm gonna do some updates. Hyacinth, I'm gonna let you go ahead and go because I know you got to get back to your busy Friday. Everybody's kind of spring breaking right now, and I'm gonna go into some. I always do my updates and events at the end.
Okay.
But Hyacinth, thank you so much. I'm gonna be in touch because we have business to handle.
That's
Okay,
right. That's right. We definitely do. So I
we
look
definitely
forward to
do.
that. And you enjoy the rest of your Friday, okay? And bye,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Bye.
All right, y'all. See, y'all heard it first. Y'all already know how we do on the Craft Cafe. It's all about business leadership and opportunity. And I want to make sure that you guys know that you're going to get the best. You're going to hear from the horse's mouth. These are people that are doing it right now. Okay. Not what I used to do 20 years ago, right now. Okay. And like she said, dream big. That's one of the things that we talk about over at Craft. This is about go big or go home. So I'm gonna be popping some things into the chat for you guys. Some here we go. I'm gonna see. I'm trying to move my screen. Okay, so what I want you guys to understand is that over at Craft, we are always constantly looking for new members, adding people into the fold. We've gotten so many different great feedback, testimonials about how people are using their Craft membership to grow their childcare business. And remember, you don't have to have a daycare or a childcare business to be a Craft member, but we service and we are promoting businesses that service children and families. And that's why Hyacinth was so important to bring in today because we're all about making sure that the families move forward and have that support. A lot of times people don't have the extended family like it used to go on. So we want to make sure that you guys are having access to that same type of support. So let me pop into the chat, you guys. If you are not a member, definitely become a member today. I will put the actual link in there. Now, guys, I do sessions where you can come and get a tour. And when you come into my tour sessions, I do give you a coupon where you can actually get 30% off of any of our memberships, you guys. And remember, our memberships all come with access to our app. We have a streaming app where if you miss a live webinar, because all of our webinars are live with all of our expert presenters. If you miss an episode, excuse me, not episode, if you miss a webinar, you can go ahead and stream it at your leisure at any time on your actual device. Now, this is a kicker. You don't have to download the app. Maybe you don't have space on your phone, but you still have access and you can go straight through our browser, okay, through your browser, through our website, I meant to say. So I'm putting that in there too. So if you are already a Craft member, you already have your login. I'm going to put that in there too. For those of you who are watching who actually have a membership, but you don't know how to get into it, or you haven't even signed in. So go ahead and sign in and find your classes. I'm putting that in there as well. Okay. Those of you who are watching at home, if you have any questions, definitely if you want to have a private question, go ahead and slide it into my DM so that I can answer your question. Okay, it's in there in the chat, you guys. Let's see what else do I have for you guys. All right, just to let you know, it's April, so we're well into it. We have the next class coming up. We just had the Craft Cafe, but we have, I mean, not Craft Cafe, we had the Craft World Tour this Wednesday. And that is so that I can let all of you guys know what the amenities of your membership is and let you know why a Craft Lux Plus membership is the bomb and it will take you to the next level because we have everything from Forbes magazine is our partner, so we have access to those memberships for you guys, so you can get the subscription, not the membership. We also have a partnership with Robinhood Financial, so we just did a class on that, so that you guys can set up your investments and for your retirement, because we want to make sure that you're moving forward. Because we already know everybody is building wealth, but we want to make sure that not only you're building wealth, we're also making sure that you are cleaning up your credit. We also just did a class on that, how to break up with bad debt, because you can't really build wealth if you paying 30, 40, 50% interest on the other side. So we want to make sure that you're clearing all that up so your money can go up, up, up and collect interest instead of you paying it. Okay. So let's see. I put that in the chat as well. Here we go. Now, another thing, I want to make sure that you guys know that we are the marketing behind so many childcare organizations. And I want to make sure that you guys have access to that. So if you're interested in working with us in the marketing space, I'm putting that in the chat right now. Go ahead and sign up so that I can follow up with you and see what your story is and see what your need is, because we do one-on-ones. Another thing I want you guys to understand, if you guys are leading an association or you are a part of a childcare association and they don't have a CRM program, you don't have a CRM program, then you definitely need to get a Canoe demo. Canoe by Craft is our premier, our very own CRM program that helps organizations expand, grow, fundraise, manage their donor funds, actually communicate with their members, and not only create membership levels, but grow their membership. Clients that have come in and set up the Canoe by Craft system have seen their actual numbers double, you guys. Not just the numbers for the membership, but the numbers for the actual revenue and the donations. Now, when it comes to nonprofits, you guys, we are no stranger to fundraising. You already know about our Craft Executive Program, specifically designed for childcare associations. In those cohorts, what we do is we challenge our folks. We don't actually just train them. We actually challenge them to raise money. Okay, now we're still tallying up how much we actually was able to raise in 2025. Our goal was $1 million, and you already know we exceeded that. So we're just getting a tally from all of the different organizations that were a part of it to really get the real number for you guys. But I will promise you it's over $1 million. So ding, 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 clap for all of you guys. Clap for yourself, because it takes confidence to go out and raise funds. And we want to make sure that we're helping you build that confidence. And that's why we created our system, Grant Castle. Grant Castle is our program that's specifically designed for nonprofits. You have to be a nonprofit to be in this group, you guys. And what it is that we go and vet every quarter 10 relevant unrestricted fund grants for your business, where they match the actual the point of what you're doing, your mission. That's what I meant to say. It matches your mission, because there's nobody that's going to give you money if they don't understand your mission. They're not aligned with your mission. That is what it's all about. So we're going to make sure not only that we're identifying these grant opportunities, we actually take one and we apply to it for you. And if you would like for us to apply to all of them, of course, that's an extra fee. But we're not going to just do it for you. We're going to teach you how to do it. Okay? So that you can, what they say, if I give you a fish, you'll eat for a day. If I teach you to fish, you'll eat forever. That concept, that part. All right. So you can't lose when you have a craft membership. And remember, if you're a business, you can write this off in your taxes. Okay. So go ahead to our website at www.betterfuturesdc.com/plans-pricing, and it's going to take you right to our membership. Now, I would suggest the Craft Lux Plus Premium, which is our signature premium membership that includes every single last amenity that we have, you guys. So don't sleep on it today. Go ahead and try it. If you want to get the little toe in and get a trial of Craft Family, you can definitely do that and get a 30-day trial today and test it out and see what you think. And no pressure, but I want to make sure that you guys understand that this is available to you, so you do not have to suffer in silence and you don't have to go at it alone. We have so many experts in all of the different fields. We got our very own, let's see, let me go ahead and name drop real quick. All right, we have Berna Artis. She is one of our presenters. She's also the executive director for the DCAEYC. And if you haven't heard of the NAEYC, that is the National Association for the Education of Young Children. Okay, so if you are not a part of that, you must have been living under a rock, because they're all over the country and they're making sure that the education standards stay where they are and keep growing. Okay, next up, we have our very own Annette Eberhardt. She is also, not only is she a family child care business owner, she's an author, she's a speaker, she's an advocate, and she's also on the advisory board for the NAFCC, which is the National Association for Family Child Care. Okay, so come on, we talk about national, you guys. So get on in there. And she's also one of the leaders of the Florida Family Child Care Home Association out in Tampa, you guys, Florida. You know, they're always doing it big down in Florida. That's a huge state. So let's keep it rolling around. We got our very own Dr. Orinthia Harris. Y'all call her Dr. O of STEM Early. She is a 20+ year educator, and her whole thing is STEM education in early ed and changing the face of what that looks like in the traditional sense of a scientist and bringing that I don't want to say DEI, but what she's about is representation, because representation definitely matters. And she's on our platform too. She got a class coming up. We also have Cynthia M.B. Robinson, you guys. She's a 30-year veteran in the ECE field, author, speaker, keynote. She knows her stuff, and she's coming in with everything you need to know as a leader, how to sustain yourself, building other leaders by actually bringing your mindfulness into the fold. And she actually has a class coming up this month. It's generational health. And you know the key word, everybody's talking about generational wealth. They want all the money, but what you need to know is health is wealth. So you can't spend no money if you dead or you sick up in somebody's bed, and we're not doing that. So we want to make sure that you're in the building so that she could really give that wisdom and give you some tips and tools to stay healthy during this journey of you saving lives and supporting families and children all over the world, you guys. Okay. And then we have our very own, co-founder Jahid B. Davis, MBA. He's coming up hot. He's got a class coming up for you guys to talk about finance. You know, he's always on accounting, making sure that you guys know the ins and outs and the back rooms of what they're saying in the back of those banks when they're denying you. So we're not getting denied anymore because we got our ducks in a row. You already know we are advocates for using systems. We use Wave ourselves, and a lot of our business that are making over a certain amount, they're definitely on QuickBooks. Okay, but if you're under, I forgot what it is, I think $1 million, come on over to Wave and you'll get there, okay? But you have to have it where you don't have to sit here with your spreadsheets and all your bags of receipts trying to take over your finances. So shout out to the Childcare Tax Pros, because it's tax time. I just sent them my taxes, you guys. They do my taxes as well. Childcare Tax Pros is our partner, and they are actually a part of the Craft All Stars, along with myself and Natrice Johnson and Adrian Briggs. Now, let me tell you about them. So, Childcare Tax Pros, they are doing it big. Check them out. They're doing their AI big one with childcare right now, and they're still doing the taxes. And they know taxes because they're actually, shout out to New York, they're from the Bronx too. They actually have centers in New York, and they do taxes. So what better people to do your childcare business taxes than people who have a childcare business, who understand the expenses, understand that what's the little depreciation and the space and time required. That's for them. That's the experts, right? They're on the panel. They're our partners, and our members get 15% off of their tax services. Okay, bring it back. Natrice Johnson, who leads the Craft All Stars for our Wave cohort, our Wave lab. That's our Wave accounting lab. And Natrice Johnson, not only does she own her own family child care center, she also has a center-based program. And she teaches Wave all throughout Pennsylvania. And she comes and teaches it right on our platform for you. So she's boots on the ground, y'all. It's not I used to. I'm doing it right now. And shout out to Adrian Briggs. Not only is she a 33-year veteran in family child care, she's also the vice president of QUIP, Quality Influential Professionals, a child care association that services businesses in and around Pennsylvania, you guys. So she is out there advocating. She's boots on the ground. I'm talking about you see them at all the meetings. She got that fist up, and she is not letting up. She's going to be coming. She's an author also. I forgot about that. She's an author, and she actually teaches finance and business all over Philadelphia, okay, with those programs there. So we got her on deck. She's over here helping us out with that too. So more to come, you guys. Oh, I forgot about Alan Gutman. He's new to the craft presenter role. If you haven't heard of him, he is the guru. He was actually on Craft Cafe. He is the guy behind the child care mandate reporting. Okay, he is the premier trainer for that. He is the expert in that. So he's coming on board. You're going to hear more about that, because compliance is definitely a big deal in child care. And we want to make sure that we're at the cutting edge of all of that, and make sure that you not only are abreast of it, but you're getting ahead of it, and you have experts that you can actually do one-on-ones with. If you are a Lux member, you have access to our one-on-ones, unlimited Lux Plus Premium. You guys, you get unlimited one-on-ones with anybody on our consultant team, you guys. And the big wig companies, they can afford to just pay consultants $300 and $400 an hour. And I understand you probably can't do that, but that's why we have craft memberships. So you don't have to do that. You go ahead and pay your membership, and you have access to all of us. And that's priceless, you guys. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and let y'all get to y'all weekend, but I'm super excited. Make sure that you guys get with me, DM me, forward this to anybody who you think would actually benefit from this. Save it, comment, engage. All right. And I'll see you next time at the next episode of the Craft Cafe Lab Show. Bye, guys.